Hello and
Hey,
good evening, and welcome to The
the truth
Truth
behind
Behind
the
the Truth.
truth. Ooh,
We are excited to have you guys joining us this evening. It's going to
yes.
be a powerful night,
Mm-hmm.
of information, knowledge, and hopefully helping you move to a stronger and better place in your life. We have
Yes.
our friend of the show, our great friend, our sister, our confidant, the woman that can really truly help you
Yes.
and us, to
Mm-hmm.
get through and sort out our issues. We have the
Yes.
wonderful Miss Tamika Anderson is with us back again. She's a friend
Yes.
of the show, but we love the fact that she takes the time out of her busy schedule to come and share with you guys. So we ask you to do that definitely seek her out,
Hey, Donnell.
as
Hey,
deemed
hey.
necessary, you know, and support her as well. So it's going to be a great conversation
Yeah,
tonight. You
yeah.
may not like what we're going to talk about, but guess what? It's okay, and you're going to be
Yeah.
all right.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
For sure. Darnell, how are you? How you doing? Good to see you.
I am doing absolutely all right. Trying to, you know, get through the rest of this week, but everything all is well. I can't complain. What
Yes.
about you guys?
Same here. Trying to get through another week. Lots of
Hmm.
work, lots of y'all know the rain kind of threw me this morning. I did
Uh-huh.
not know it was gonna rain today. It threw me.
That's what I was looking like. Like, what in
Yeah,
the
it kind
world?
of it kind of was a surprise this morning.
Yeah.
I wasn't anticipating it either. That it was, but hey, we need it. Right? And what is
We
it
do
like?
need it. It,
Yeah,
it cleaned up all the pollen and stuff that was
right. There's
floating
been some.
around. But it threw me. It really did. I was delivering all morning, early this morning, and I saw a little sprinkle here and there in Burbank. And then I thought about, I said, well, where's the water coming from? Then I leave my third store, and it just started. The sky had fell, and I was like,
Yeah,
oh my gosh! I said, oh,
yeah.
let me get up out of here. So yeah, it really threw me. This weather this year has thrown a lot of people.
Well,
Right.
as the old saying is, was it April showers bring May flowers? So
Well, I hope
and it
I hope it you know how this drought be out here in California. This doing the, we don't know how this is gonna
right,
how this is gonna happen and what's gonna happen during the summer because the summer hasn't hit yet.
right,
But the
Right.
fact is that this drought business they keep talking about with all this water we're getting and all this rain that we've been having.
right.
I'm just hoping and praying that this drought business will be kind of a different situation this year.
Right. I think it will.
Yes.
We finally have gotten to the point where there's a surplus, and the funny thing about Californians is that they consistently complain about the weather, and they have the best weather I think in the
That's
country,
why our
pretty
rent
much.
is so
So
damn high.
yeah,
Yeah.
they they
The cost of
they
living is
had
so damn high because of the weather out here. That is the
well, yeah,
excuse for everything to
that
being so high out here in
yeah,
California.
yeah. I mean, and it does make up,
Oh
the
yeah.
difference in that aspect. But it's amazing how
Hmm.
people complain about such a beautiful place, And then when it does rain or when it does have all of those opportunities happening, it makes it even worse. I mean, at the end of the day, so y'all shut up and enjoy the weather y'all got.
LA needs to be
Shut up.
LA needs
Right.
a good
Exactly.
wash.
Yeah, yeah. Well, okay, that's not.
LA really
We'll,
needs a
we'll,
good wash.
we'll say that one for another show. But anyway, so let's go ahead and dig in, guys. Man, we got to get ready for Mr. Tamika. Get through
Oh.
this all
Yes,
this other stuff
yes.
that's been
So
going on
what's
this
been going
week.
on in your world, Darnell? What's been going on in the news?
So listen, we kind of touched on it a little bit last week, and everybody had been wondering, like, what the hell is going on with these Royals? Because it's
Uh-huh.
been spewing over to the United States.
Mm,
Right.
mm.
So all I can say is this: they are doing a effed up job as cover up
Yeah.
because you went from how do y'all go from it was even reported on the British reports a few weeks ago, and they retracted and said that King Charles had done passed away.
What?
The flag was down, everything.
What?
Next thing you know, they say he was fine. He was out on duties trying, and he was over in London trying to do with whatever the medical.
Right.
So y'all go from that. Now, how do y'all allow out of all these years when Queen Elizabeth was a living and going and reign that you didn't get all this craziness and they just let stores just run and run and run? It's like they were purposely trying to ruin every aspect of everything that had to do with Charles, Kate, William, all the way across the board, because they let all this rampant stuff just run rampant about Kate. It went from that to the Photoshop to this to that, and then they have been seen, and this like the people just went crazy. She comes on a few days ago saying that, oh, you guys, I thank you guys for just all the support. Now she has cancer.
Right. Well, here's the thing. I told Dylan when the first situation went on, I said something's going on with Kate. And I pretty much sure thinking that it was the female aspect of it, which is abdominal surgery. It's very, and we can have Tamika speak about this too when she gets on, kind of elaborate on that point. But when you say female abdominal surgery, 9 times out of 10 it's a hysterectomy, allegedly in this case. Okay, that's 9 times out of 10 because you figure this woman has had 3 kids, 4 kids, something like that,
and
pretty much, so I'm not going to take it away from her what she's experienced. By all means, I don't wish cancer on anybody because it's a very horrible disease, in that. However, I think that the fact that this face that they have to keep up all the time is such a dangerous thing when the universe is telling you you're going to have to come down and be a human being now. So I'm going to let you have the human experience from this particular point. So that whole monarchy, King Charles included, is really having to deal with what the normal people have to deal with.
They're just reaping the shit that they sow. Fuck the bitches.
Well, yeah, exactly. But then again, I'm sorry. But then again, that's the human experience. They put the shit out there, then it's coming back at them.
Yeah.
But I know we can't spend a lot of time because we got to hit all this point before we go on break. So your next point was what was it? The NAACP awards. Go ahead.
I enjoyed watching, and I think it was a
thoroughly.
It was a very fabulous event. Queen Latifah did a great job. My goodness, she always does. She does hosting very well for award shows, not talk shows, but award shows.
Right.
She's in her bag with that. Oh God, everybody had great speeches, but I think, to be honest with you,
what you think about this Usher and his slip up? And he said that the devil gave him the award.
I didn't really get a chance to read that, but
he said the devil, and then he turned around and just had to try to clean it up.
He probably didn't mean it that way. You know what I'm saying?
Because I didn't see that one. I bypassed all of that.
Yeah,
now I know Oprah gave him his award though, but he said the devil did what again?
He said he was accepting awards and he thanked the devil. I mean,
I don't think he meant it in that context.
I don't know.
I mean, because
I didn't see it, so I can't say.
I know that's opened up another world one we can't get into tonight because we have to look at that from the allegedly.
But I know Fantasia cleaned it up with Jesus.
She did.
She cleaned it up with Jesus at the end of us singing a hymnal and everything.
Right.
So
yes.
So she brought the spirit back into place.
Yes, she did. She brought.
But so I know we talked about it on a meeting. We wanted to dissect one thing about this, and I know we got to get ready for break coming up. We got to get the rest of the night is going to be about Miss Tamika, so we got to get this stuff out of the way, So the one thing that we had talked about in our meeting, all of us collectively together, about the NAACP, and this big thing consistently about people of color not being used in Hollywood. You remember we were talking about that during the And so the question of pause, and maybe you guys can put it in the comments or what you feel if you're a supporter of NAACP or you don't like what I'm saying or Dylan saying or Darnell saying, or maybe Tamika says it when she gets on. Send us an email, ttbttshow@gmail.com. Okay.
And get to the point. What happened to the NAACP?
So what happened? But my question is that we still have complaining about what is not going on to represent people of color in Hollywood. Okay. And on a big platform. The NAACP has been around for almost 100 years. Just as long as Warner Brothers, Universal, MGM, and everybody else has had a studio out here. Why and that Hector's, that you have not presented studio in this system that supported the Black talent? You spread the message very clearly. Because y'all know that Hollywood was around. Y'all right there when Hattie McDaniels won the very first award. You celebrated that and all the other ones that went along, through the process of that. So my question is for the NAACP, PPP, why did you not take on the responsibility of building a consistent network of African American experiences in the Hollywood sector?
Not gonna happen because that means that therefore their pockets wouldn't be lined.
Well, of course. I mean, I
And I
agree.
was about to
And
go
it's
there
open-
too, Darnell,
and
because
it's
at
open
the
for
end of the day,
discussion.
they have
But
always been in cahoots with the white establishment when it boils down to
Well-
getting black money.
well,
And that
They-
could be another reason. But I have always said that too. Why do we have Spike Lee? We have Tyler Perry. We have all these Ava DuVernay. We have all these great directors, Lee Daniels. What is it that would make? Why can't we all come to the table and make an epic black film? What is
not
the
just
problem?
film, industry.
Yeah, the industry too.
Industry,
But the
yes.
thing about it is, I don't even think it's a crab in a barrel situation. I think there's always somebody wanting to be on top of somebody. And at the end of the day, I don't know if we're able to get together to do those things that people in the past were able to do. When you think about the Goldwyn's, the Mayors, the Warner Brothers,
Right.
I don't know. Hey,
But you
somebody
think about this though, Dallin. Think about this. So what if we did do that?
Mm-hmm.
So
We'll be
their mind
complaining
is thinking about
that.
this. Yeah, that too. But their mind is thinking about this. These big heads, these bigger people who can come together. Their mind think about this. So if we do this, now we finna turn around and isolate ourselves from the money, because we know they got the money.
Uh-huh.
You know they got the money and they got the real power. Us is just one group. We kind of like, we can give you just a little bit, but I don't want to turn around and be able to isolate myself from I have 2-3 million when I can have 100 million from these people over here.
Right.
So that's kind of one of the reasons why.
PTSD has got this thing
Right,
going. We're reading your comments, PTSD.
Yes.
But you know what? I would want to say this too, though. With the black talent, if you notice in all
You're
the
right,
things that
PTSD.
had happened this year,
Mhm.
there were more black American talent
Right.
in these films this year.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've been complaining about Nigerians, English acting, black sounding actors coming in and taking our jobs or taking whoever jobs. But this year,
Right.
Color Purple, an American Fiction, and
Right.
all these other films
Yes.
that they had black American talent,
Right.
and we still had something to complain about.
Right. Well, I mean, again, it goes back to the point that I was saying earlier. So why? Okay, maybe this is the call, and those of you that will share this show, share and put this conversation out there. We may put a snippet out, about it later on, but share and have this conversation started so somebody can wake up. Okay, because it's ridiculous to have all of this great talent, great directors, great writers, all of this, and this is not a racial thing. This is just an empowerment conversation.
It's a cultural thing.
It's a cultural thing. But
Yeah.
somebody has got to make a change. Now, if Truth Behind the Truth, and I'll put it in the universe and declare for all y'all and all my cast and my team that's a part of the Truth Behind the Truth, if we're in place in LA to get something going in that matter, then guess what? Truth Behind the Truth is going to do it. All right, because we need this. It should have been done 100 years ago. You had examples with Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers was the first studio, Donald Shut Up, that came along. That started supporting black talent. They were the first. Okay, out here. Why didn't you spawn off from that? Whether it was a studio in your damn house, started doing something to promote the talent on a major level.
Motown tried it.
Well, it's kind of one of those things, though.
I'll let you say it. Let me
Make it
say
quick,
this.
'cause we gotta go to
In
break.
order for Kate to get cured from cancer, in order for her to be cured, you got to apologize to Meghan Markle. I'm just gonna put it out there.
Okay, well, hey.
Girl, all I can say is with that one too is this. I think they just setting it up for a story to say, we die down to her. Call it a good evening.
We'll see. All right. Well, on that note,
we just need to
we got to go to break.
We're going to dig in more, guys. So we'll be right back with Ms. Tamika Anderson right after this break. This is in a second. Okay. I mean, guys, we're still talking about what we were talking about a second ago. So if you heard us coming in, but anyway, for real though, and welcome back to the Truth Behind the Truth. All right. But like we're saying, just to wrap it up, NAACP, not just y'all, okay, but I'm just holding y'all accountable because you were supposed to be the black face over 100 years, making change and helping the advancement to
Right.
She ain't gonna apologize.
She's not.
But to advancement of African American people, and it has just not been, and we should not be having a discussion like this about getting talent developed in a city that was based on that. It just shouldn't be, and it's sad. But we got to move on.
The fast. My question is this: I posed this question. So my question is this: so why do we still now have people who are in that position, Tyler Perry, Oprah Winfrey, and all these other people that are in the same position that Warner Brothers and all these other people, and they still are done the same way that Warner Brothers and all these other industries. So it's kind of like, what's the purpose at that point?
Well, true. I mean, like Don said, going to break, like you said, specifically, it's just that it's me, my. Who's going to be on top? Who's going to be on the bottom? Who's going to make the most money? All that in there. Well, that's true too. But we can't no more. All right, we got to move on, guys. So we want to welcome. Good evening. Good evening. We want to welcome to the show. Hey, our sister in love, the woman with the knowledge that's gonna get y'all straight. All right. Hey. Welcome back to the show, Miss Tamika Anderson.
Yeah. Hey, Miss Tamika.
Hey, y'all.
All right, hey, honey, we didn't got lively before you got here.
I see.
and I know with your acting chops, because you can speak under that as well. I mean, and how I'm sure you guys feel in Atlanta and see what's going on, but we'll get into that in a minute. So how are you?
I am amazing. How are you guys?
Good. Wonderful. Good to see you. Thank you for taking the time out to be here tonight in your busy schedule. We really appreciate it. And hopefully some people can walk away with some knowledge to make this better. Okay. I'm gonna try not to cuss tonight, Tamika. Try. Okay, but don't make no promises. All right. Peter come up every now and then. I just gotta let him say what he gotta say, at the end of the day. So digging in, we the country right now is in such a turmoil, and I don't mean this because of the election. I mean, if you ain't figured out right now that Donald Trump's a fool and Joe Biden is the way to go, then you're really in a traumatic experience. Okay, at the end of the day, and that's on both sides. I mean, that's not black, that's not white. I mean, at the end of the day, but let's kind of open up the conversation real quick about people in a place of denial. Now, we could use the election as a background, or what's going on with that. But we have denial of situations in our own families, and I know this is your area of expertise. Let's kind of open that up a little bit, and kind of dig in. And you guys got some questions about that, I'm sure, but we want to hear your point, and why is that so prevalent in families?
Oh, how much time do we have?
All right.
So, I dig into this topic a lot. And it always comes back to identity, right? A lot of people, well, most people, if you challenge a belief, they hold it close because that's part of they hold that part of their identity, right? So they feel threatened. And so now if you are coming in and you're trying to get somebody to see something and say something that has to do solely based on what they deem as their identity, you in for a fight.
Yes,
so
you are.
That is the reason why. Yeah.
It's sad though, to be honest with you. It's like, it's you saying that reminds me of people, what we're dealing with right now when it boils down to trying to explain racism to whoever. Because right now it's it's not only a white thing, it has broadened a little bit, but it's just the fact of holding on to the belief factor. It's mind-boggling. It's like tradition. And I think that's one of the things I'm getting from what you just said, is the fact that people are holding on to things like that because that's all they know, or that's just traditional to them.
Right.
But my question is, and it's going to be kind of random. Number one, I mean, where do you see us going? And when it boils down to this country and politically, election-wise, do you see us going down a slippery slope or going uphill? Where do you see this? Because I'm feeling kind of scared right now.
We're going to hell in a
As you
handbasket. Hell in a handbasket. And you know what? So I'm someone who I am an avid reader. I read like a book a day. And one of my favorite books is actually the Bible, right? And so I like to dig into the Bible to read and figure out what is going on. Because, you know, like me, I'm like, why are we having this peace? What is happening? What's wrong? And do you know, I read that even Jesus said, you thought I came to bring peace?
Right.
He said, no, I came to bring the sword, which is the word of God. Right. So Jesus knew that this foolishness was going to happen. That's why I said, I'm like, it's not even about trying to bring peace. When possible, live peaceably with people. Right. However, the goal is not peace. The goal is to bring truth. That's why I love coming on y'all show. Truth behind the truth. Yes. The goal is truth. Bringing truth. Yes. It's not your truth or my truth. It's the truth and the lies. So,
I like how you factor that into Darnell. You can go ahead before Darnell, you can read that before we let Darnell get point. So, but I like how you equated the scripture into where now with me, you know, and you and I kind of dialogue about this before, you know, off show. I have shifted in terms of saying quote unquote the Bible because, and that's in my world. And in my world, because what happens with that is that it becomes this legalistic approach to it. Now, you don't mean it in that sense, but the people that we are trying to reach to help them, they feel like it's all of a sudden you're going to have all of these legalistic ways of approach to tell me information about my life. Right. And I love how you personalized what that was, and then to understand the levels of people. And the problem with people not knowing the scripture or not taking the opportunity to dig in and find the true essence for themselves, they see it from a legalistic standpoint of view, which leads me into the point is that the problem that we have in church world, okay, I'll do that to protect the Christians, you know, in church world is that we see the Bible how we see our lives and how we see ourselves. So therefore, if
we see the Bible how the pastor sees the Bible.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. Well, because otherwise we don't know. We don't know it any other way. Okay. So, but what I mean by that is a little deeper point. So, if you're a judgmental person and you can certainly relate to this, if you're a judgmental person in life, guess what? Every time you pick up those scriptures, whatever's an act of judgmental, that's going to be your kid's scripture. That's what you're going to run to, and that's what you're going to define God for somebody else's life for. You see, and therefore that's why we become to the point we bastardize the scripture. Okay, I know y'all ain't gonna like me saying that, but it's the truth behind the truth. Okay, I'm a little bit educated. I know a little bit. Okay, you know, so in that we have got to start positioning the place of liberty for people, what the scripture is supposed to be. Because you say gospel doesn't mean that gospel is just the word meaning good news. Okay, that doesn't mean that you're, you know, instituting Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. You know, that doesn't mean that. Okay, those are a section of the scriptures that have been related to that. But you can go in that and not find good news. Okay, so you cannot, you know, implicate that in terms of your saying and your. I know I'm going off low on the point, but all I'm saying is to support what the point you made. Okay, so our audience, understand that. Okay, I said it last week, and I'm trying to say it, some of this one. Let you say your point. The Bible, if you want to look at it, is not a track record for God. Okay, let me be clear and understand it. The Bible is written to men about men experiencing God. Okay? Get that and let that sink in, because every story, everything that you can relate to from Genesis to Revelation, it's always about an individual or individuals that had to understand where they are as a people and seek their relationship with their God or how they saw him. So what we need to start to do as believers is stop trying to lay scripture on people's lives that ain't true and it's not applicable to them. Everybody ain't Job. Right. And everybody don't want to be Job, and everybody don't want to go Job's experience. So stop putting, I'm just using that example. Stop putting Job's experience on everything. You know what I mean? As long. But go ahead with the point you're gonna
go ahead, because you had something to say.
Go ahead, Dick.
No, what was your point?
Well, this was something that was brought up. That was brought to me. It says this quote is saying, "To change anything on the outside, you must become the change on the inside. How the change will happen on the outside is not up to you. That is the job of the universe. Your job is to radiate all good from the inside, and the outside circumstances will change to reflect the all good inside you."
There it is. That was part of the post. I'm sure you saw that, that you make on everything. So it's a very point even dissecting that. That's really, really deep. You know what I'm saying? Because we have these belief systems, and these belief systems are just so ingrained in us, and because they're ingrained in us, because it's mom and them, because of what we heard, we make that think that is God saying these things to us. We would rather believe grandmama's story rather than believe if literally if Jesus came to you straight to your face and told you something. Nah, but grandmama said it this way. You would debate him. So we've got to change.
But why is that though? It's because that's how grandmama and mama and them set it up. When they say, "Do as I say, not as I do," they will put themselves in God's place.
And this is a mindset that's why we don't experience the liberty of freedom in our own lives to process how we started out our conversation. This is why we have turmoil in families. This is why young kids are going off and doing things, because you haven't said to them that you are the greatest creation that has hit this planet. You are omnipotent. That part of you is an omnipotent spirit, but we don't want to say that because we think we're taking credit from God. He can't never do it. Okay, Jesus is the big boy. Okay, you ain't gonna never take no credit from him at the end of the day.
But for people though, JB, it's kind of hard to unlearn a behavior that you've had for so long.
Good point. Maybe Tamika can unpack that a little bit for us.
But most of our experiences most of the experiences that we're trying to get rid of came from an era of so much oppression.
Yes, it did.
That it has become our protection in a way.
Good point.
And at the end of the day, we have dealt with so much in the past that those things that were passed down through a religious sense, through family traditions, were a way of protecting us from what was going on the outside. Right. That we internalized it, so that at the end of the day, it's like we cannot come up out and be free.
But that's how generational curses are
right. I can't be authentic because if I become too authentic, I'm going against the grain of what it was or what it is to be protected. And I think that's where we as a people, especially as a Black people, when it boils down to the culture, we're trying in a way to embrace the freedom of being authentic. But there is that tug of war where I can't be too out there, because I feel like if I'm too out there, then I will be out there on my own, and there will be no protection. There will be no cover. So I'm thinking that's why, and it's still, and you see it in our conversations when it comes down to gender war, sexuality, politics, anything that deals with, you talk about we always talk about masculinity and femininity in our culture a lot. And I'm always wondering, why is that so important? Why can't we just be what we were made to be and what is inside of us? Everybody else is not talking, but it's like at the end of the day, there is a protection that still wants to be there. There's still a cover that still needs to be there for us to be protected from whatever that is going on outside of our realm. And I think it has dealt with. It has been. It's. I want to say this. It's bound back to oppression. And I think that's our issue still. We still want to be bound by those chains in a way. Go ahead. I took over.
Sometimes when we can only see us because we are us.
Well, that too. Yeah.
In a culture. So I think that the same, and I know this, and I tell people this. I know certain things because when you are a person who your spouse isn't the same race as you. You figure out certain things. The same issues that we have and they have.
Right.
They just deal with it in a different way.
Right.
We tend to wear our emotions on the outside.
Right.
A lot of times when it comes down to things.
Right.
And so, it becomes to be spew over. And that's where the issues start to come in. They turn around. If it's an issue, it's like we're gonna deal with it amongst us. We ain't gonna drag it in the streets. and it's gonna look good to everybody else, but we gonna deal with this thing privately. Us, baby, you done wronged us. Everybody gonna know you done wronged us.
True.
But that comes from it's the side effect of oppression.
Okay.
We want to be seen. We want to be heard, right? And so unfortunately, we're using that energy against each other. And it is by design, though. Racism, systemic racism has designed it this way. And unfortunately, we are getting in our own way by continuing it.
Thank you.
You said that was good, Miss Tamika. Really good. Really
Woo!
good.
Yes.
And I felt that because that is the truth.
Yeah.
Every time we're having a conversation like this or some type of sit down, you're hearing people lash out at each other for whatever reason. And it looks like we're putting on a performance or as a joke.
Right.
And that's not getting us anywhere. Whatever you're talking about, politics for one. You know, we're talking, for example, I love, that we have people who believe differently from what we believe. I understand there are conservatives out there like Candace Owens who talk that talk. Right. But one thing I cannot get with is the fact that beating each other down because I don't believe in what you believe or you don't believe in what I believe. Right. Why do we have to beat each other down in public? Right. It's like a lashing, it's like a performance for them to all see that we ain't got it together because we're so busy trying to, it's like a fight for the fittest. If that makes sense. The social Darwinism and stuff like that. But it gets on my nerves. Right. Because I'm like, don't you see that it makes us all look bad when I understand that you have conservative values, you believe in them, and I have my progressive beliefs. And why are we fighting each other over who beliefs should be on top of each other? We as a Black people should understand that we come from the same situation and nothing with this dark skin. I don't care if you're conservative or progressive. This dark skin will not free you from the oppression that our ancestors have had to go through, regardless if you're rich, poor, conservative, United Methodist, Baptist, you're still Black. Let's get over the fact that these, I'm just saying, it just gets on my nerve that we are still fighting over whose views should be over this view. I'm like, look at this. This should bind us all together.
I love this.
We're always about a status quo.
Hold on, we got to get ready for a break. I apologize. We'll be right back. But when we come back from break, we want to, as I said, unpack the situation because it's so in line about Dwight Howard, finally coming to this place, accepting who he is, and the backlash that he's getting from being honest and authentic. But then we'll make your point when we come back first, D. We'll be right back after this quick break.
Call 844-55-STARZ. It's Junk Stars, baby.
Hey, my name is Thurston, and here I have my CEO, son Langston. We specialize in junk removal, dumpster rental, and demolition. So if you need junk removed,
call Junk Stars.
You need dumpster rentals?
Call Junk Stars.
All right, and we are back, guys. Thank you so much for tuning into The Truth Behind the Truth tonight. We forgot to have that mug handy. But anyway, get your mug, okay? I don't have mine handy right now, but pretend like it's in my hand, all right? Mugs are available $13.99, and send an email, please, to the TTBTT show@gmail. Or we're also asking that, for 5 shares and 5 likes, we will award you complimentary with a mug for sharing this great news out there with everyone. Send us an email with 5 likes and 5 shares, okay, to TTBTT show@gmail.com as well. And your comments and everything else as well. If you don't like what we're saying, it's okay. Because we're going to be fine. It's fine. We want you not to like it so we can address it.
And if not the first to experience some hurt, okay?
I love that.
It's going to be all right. Let's just keep it moving.
Exactly. But Darnell, You're fired. Oh, all right, Darnell, go ahead with your question, and then we're going to dig in the other questions we have for us.
Well, it was more so just a statement. It just basically goes back to, you think about when you were younger and you were growing up in church, and you had these mothers and these and the first ladies, how everybody had this big fight and battle about this title: who's going to be the greatest dresser, who's going to wear the best hat, who's going to be it, and then it starts there because
It's
you're
still
young
going
and
on.
you're starting to see, and it's still going. And it's just with us as a culture, it's always about a status quo. Who's going to be the best or the next or the who or this or that, you know? So it's kind of hard to be able to actually see people for who they actually are and
Right.
come together and have a agree to disagree if we have to, or to agree,
Right.
you know, because everyone wants to be this in position. You know, like my grandma used to say, everybody want to be a chief and not enough Indians, or
Right.
whatever the case may be. Kind of like the situation.
So, Miss Tamika, what is the solution to all of this? Now, we have put this all on the table. What is the solution for us to get away from this mindset and keep pushing us towards, especially within our culture and community, because it's coming down to the wire with this election that we keep bringing up, but it is a proven fact. This election is going to change everything. So what is it going to push us out of this situation of who needs to be on top or whatever?
Or begin the process.
Or begin the process.
Yeah.
What does it take?
Well, number one, honestly, and I actually wrote an article about this, but like I said, self-love is an act of rebellion. So one of the things that, and this is something that I've actually, I talked to my clients and my daughter about this, about not trying to beat the stubbornness. It's not stubborn. It's really more of a strong will out of children. Let me tell you why.
Okay.
Because me as a child, they tried to beat it out of me.
Right.
That's who I was. However, if I hadn't been and had the personality of strong-willed, I wouldn't be here today.
Oh, wow.
I would not be able to show you. I would not have, because you have to be a rebel, a diehard rebel, in order to stand tall against the reign of the society, to say, I'm not going to believe what you say about me. I'm not going to watch that. I'm not going to listen to that. That doesn't apply to me. I don't believe it. So the first step takes real strong will to say, I'm not subscribing to this. Like, I personally don't listen to, watch, or read gossip blogs.
Okay.
I don't watch the news. There's a lot of stuff I do not do. And it's because of the reason, because if I did, I'm looking at this, I don't see people in office who look like me. So then what am I saying to myself? Oh, I'm not good enough to do this.
Right.
So that's what it takes, saying, hey, the first step is turn all that crap off. I literally got rid of every subscription that I had. I don't do Netflix. I don't do none of those.
Wow.
The reason why is because I know that society's way of dumbing down America is to dumb us down, keep us so distracted that we cannot use this. Right? And if you can't use this, you cannot change this. Right? If you're sitting there just letting them feed you programming, they're programming you. That's what they're doing. So they're feeding it to you. Just watch this, listen to this, read this, do this. That's all you're doing. You have time to sit back and reflect. I told you I read a book a day.
Wow.
And because I know this is something they can never take away from us.
Right.
Exactly. So why are we using it?
Right.
It's because we are seeking pleasure. It's pleasurable to sit and watch the gossip blogs and to talk about somebody else's life. I don't know what's going on, in somebody else's life. That's not me. That's not my life. They ain't paying my bills.
Right.
It doesn't matter to me. Right. So that's the first step. The first step is to say, got to do this. I'm not doing this. I'm not on social media. I'm not doing none of that stuff.
Mm.
And I'm going to take time
and to make, I'm so sorry for cutting you off, but I always say this too when somebody brings stuff like that to me. Who cares? That's just that's their situation. I have my own situation, like you say. It is what it is. I have my stuff I have to deal with. They're gonna have theirs to deal with.
Right.
But that is the truth.
Well,
That's the truth.
wouldn't you not say that because what society has done and has been bent and programmed? I love how you said it, and equating the program or programming, into their lifestyle. They've been dumbed to the fact of being authentic, not knowing how to pursue themselves. So therefore, we seek identity. Oh wow, this is good. So seek identity. Woo! That was that moment gave it it. We seek identity in the Beyoncés. We seek identity in the Mary J. Bliges. We seek identity in the Lizzos. Oh God, I wasn't gonna say that name, but we seek identity in these people because we don't know our own. Okay, well, yeah. Our own identity. It's a very sad situation. But here's the thing, like you said, we've been not us and I, but Cookie here, but we've been programmed into being that way. So here you become this dumbed down group of people that's about to put a dumb ass in the White House. Okay, so dumb people reacting dumb people, So what can that? Oh my God, that answers how we started that question out earlier.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So you continuously get dumbed by all of the things that are out there and the dumb behaviors, and then you become dumb, and numb, and you don't really care. You really, and that's such a sad state to be. And that's not just reflecting African American people. That's everybody. Because here's the thing: we are highlighting some things that focusing on an African American community. But the bottom line here is that we don't all figure it out. We're all doomed. Yes. Humanity by and large, because you can't separate humanity. Humanity is humanity. We're all one spirit. I don't care if I ain't gonna start preaching, but I'm not gonna. Tamika, you pull that out of me. But anyway, but the truth behind the truth is that we have to find a way to start coexisting and appreciating and loving, like you said in the beginning, loving one another to another place.
But also loving ourselves, which first.
Oh, that's number one.
It boils down to loving ourselves, because that's where we're always looking for the hero in somebody else, instead of looking for the hero within ourselves. I always say that this song, The Greatest Love of All.
Wow, that's good.
That is the most powerful song that was ever written by Linda Creed and Michael Master. And I always tell people, if you're ever wanting to listen to anything that's so inspirational, I don't care if you listen to the Whitney Houston version or the George Benson version or the Aretha Franklin version, listen to that song and listen to the words, because that's what humanity is all about. Looking for love within yourself.
But you can't get that if you're, following the programming, because self-loathing is big business.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh, wow.
If you look at, I want you, as a matter of fact, this is homework for everybody watching.
Okay.
I want you to watch every commercial that you see. And I want you to write down what they're actually selling you. It's always look 10 years younger. Why do I need to look 10 years younger?
Wow.
It's always, you can feel this. Why do I need to feel that? I want you to do that and write the underlying, what are they selling you? What they're selling you is that you are not enough. You need this, because if you don't have this, you will never be enough. Matter of fact, when I do watch, because the only thing I watch now is like old sitcoms, Black sitcoms and stuff like that. And when I do watch them, my kids will tell you this. I turn, when an ad comes on, I immediately press mute.
Oh, wow. Okay.
The reason being is because I know that it is a program. They are programming your subconscious. They want you to think you're not enough. The more you hear that, the more you're going to believe it.
It's true.
Social media. What about social media, since you're on that?
Let me tell you, social media, and I'm very strategic with social media. I tell people this. I don't know if you've seen this documentary. Oh my God, I think it's called Social Something, Social Proof or something like that. But anyway, the darn founder of Facebook will not allow his own children to have a Facebook account. What does that tell you? Like I said, because I'm a deep thinker, I spend most of my days. As a matter of fact, I've rearranged my entire schedule to where I only take meetings on Friday, so I can spend Monday through Thursday doing a lot of deep thinking, right?
Yeah.
And so when I look at this, I want you to look at all of the big technology gurus, the people who have started this technology. They do not allow their children to have a phone. They do not allow them to be on social media. Why is that? You have to pay attention to this.
Right.
And it's because of what I'm telling you. They know that they're programming everybody to be dumb, and especially Black people. Black people, we have buying power. That is why people are exploiting the hell out of us. Because we spend the money, okay? And so, but the more we keep watching these shows, the more we just putting money in their pocket. And like I was telling my kids when I was bringing my daughter home from the mall tonight, I looked at the sign and I saw where like the Powerball is almost at $1 billion. I told her, I said, do you want to know how when they say stop believing that it's a recession, it is not a recession.
No, it's not.
If it was a recession, that Powerball would not keep getting to $1 billion.
Right, exactly.
That means people are spending money on what they want to spend money on.
That's
and
true.
They're spending money on what they're programming. Like I said, this is programming. But I'm getting off the rant now.
No, you're right. You're fine. No, and that is so. And I'm glad that came up tonight about the programming, because now that you really think about it, we typically we watch a lot of TV, okay, but we mostly, I mean, what do you say, like Golden Girls? That's like almost the number one thing, and vintage Hollywood. What I mean, all the musicals and things that we record, and that's more of the. I have probably like one or two shows, more of those are the contestant type of shows, like dancing and things like that. Those are the ones I typically enjoy. But I am going to start paying attention more to that programming, like you said, and looking at it a little bit deeper, just for myself. And he knows that I'm such a deep thinker, and sometimes I scare myself. Because I'll stand in the shower and my mind be going like, woo, and I'm like, really? And I'm saying, self, really? And talking to the universe, God, really, is this happening? And then sure enough, I come and share it, and it's exactly what's going on. We gotta get some more in here, man. This is good. All right, we got a quick break. We're gonna come back and we're gonna talk about how to help people get out of this mode of this programming. Okay, real quick, we'll touch on that when we get back. Okay, we'll be back in a second, guys.
If you need a pickup car, if you need a dumpster or a demolition car, call 844-55-STARZ. It's Junk Stars, baby.
Hey, my name is Thurston, and here I have my CEO, son Langston. We specialize in junk removal, dumpster rental, and demolition. So if you need junk removed,
Call Junk Stars.
you need dumpster rentals,
Call Junk Stars.
Yes. It's if you can put that back up, Chuck.
yeah.
Yes, definitely. I don't want a nation of thinkers. I want a nation that works. Wow.
And that's what capitalism has did to this country. It's based on that. Capitalism is based on working people until they don't know what the heck is going on in their world. And that's the problem. Everybody's chasing the money, but they're not understanding that that money is not the situation.
Right.
It's the situation is who is it's the systems that make that money what it is to us, you know,
Right.
as the people.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
Ooh.
So no,
I'm
right.
sorry.
That's good.
I'm going
So
on a tangent.
as we're digging into this next part, and I wanted to submit this part of the answer. I know what you were building and put together. So the major problem that we can all identify with is that people don't know who they are. You know what I'm saying? They don't know who they are, and that's just straight across the board. You know, and I run across that all the time. And when you don't know who you are, you allow anything possible to come into your space. You know, comes into your mental capacity, and that seeps right on down to your spiritual being. And words have such a major part in the way we see ourselves. You know, so if you can us together, you know, form that into a way that I think the answers to that will also kind of answer what we've talked about already. You know what I'm saying? You know, and helping people to understand you are the greatest gift to this planet. You know, how do we start that conversation with people?
So it's such a good question because everybody wants to be somebody, right? Like it's such a cliche thing to say, but it really is. It's we all know that we have the greatness in us. Yes. This is one of the reasons why I said turn that stuff off. You know, do more thinking, read books or listen to books, but really get into doing deep thinking. Because the more you turn against the grain of society, the more you will begin to accept yourself, because it starts with self-acceptance. A lot of people think that self-love is all about bubble baths. And no, self-love is about accepting who you are to the point where I don't wear makeup because I love my face. I like how I look.
Okay.
And so I accept who I am, flaws and all, right? And so the thing, not saying that something's wrong with makeup. What I'm saying is I like my face.
Okay.
And so because I like my face, I don't need you to tell me that I need to put something else on my face in order for my face to be okay. And so when you get to the point where you first accept yourself, that's when you can dive deeper into self-love. But it cannot happen if you continue to follow the noise. You have to keep the noise off. It has to be, even if you do it in increments, you have to start doing it. Stop being on social media all the time because it's noise. They're programming you to not like yourself, to think that you need something. You need to get this. Oh, TikTok, they even have a whole thing about TikTok made me buy this. Why are you even watching that stuff? You don't need any of that.
So let me ask you this question. In light on basically what you're saying, do you think that the major thing that people, when to approach this level of authenticity, don't you believe or understand that fear grabs people from the number one onset, and because that fear grabs them, they don't pursue the opportunity to become authentic in that way?
Absolutely. That's why I'm saying you have to turn this off because they're literally pumping fear into you.
Okay.
Like every headline you see is fear mongering. Oh, be afraid. This is going on. Oh my God.
Right. Right.
Prime example, Mr. Mika, as if like now, with the factor of April 8th, with this solar eclipse, they've already started pumping the fear into people about the factor of this solar eclipse. I mean, with the factor of the way the world is going, who knows? It could be true. But they're making sure that they putting the fear into people, and it's shown on the television, from social media to all the way across the board.
Right.
Yeah, because they think the best way, which is true, the best way to control someone is to make them afraid of you.
Right. Well, Donald Trump has done that very clearly. You know,
that's what they do. They're trying to pump the fear. And so the more you watch this stuff, guess what's going to happen? The more you're going to inhale the fear. Think of it like breathing. This is how I think of it. There are certain movies I will not watch. There are certain shows I will not watch because I'm not going to inhale that stuff. I don't want it in my spirit.
I'm the same way when it comes to. I used to be a fan of horror movies. I used to love horror movies.
I used to watch all the Saws.
Right. Yeah. And it's
Yeah.
now I don't like to have that in my space.
Right.
You know, I mean, I really don't. I mean, you know, I have to admit, I did watch with the blackening. That was stupid, but
But it's the same thing with
but
music.
but
It's the same thing with music.
yeah,
You know,
it's
certain
true,
things
true.
I won't listen to.
True.
I have, as I'm getting older, I'm listening to more watercolors
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
because
Uh-huh.
I just can't listen to lyrics anymore because I know if certain lyrics that is just not good for my spirit or not good for what will help me be a better person infiltrates my mind,
Uh-huh.
then I end up, you know, mimicking that, and you know, and that's not where I'm trying to go. But
Yeah.
nobody understands that's how powerful music and movie mediums
Right, it's
are.
true.
Because
Words.
you know what
Uh-huh.
we see is what we try to imitate.
This is so true.
Words in general.
Yeah, exactly. That very, very, very powerful point on putting it up with Candace Owens and did that. You know, it's subliminal. It was very subliminal to see something like that. And anytime you find someone downgrading your community, then you look at all of the things that are going on in your community. You have to say, well, they're right. You know, in it. I want to put this plug in real quick. On the 24th of next month, we have Tyra Jones, good friend of mine, will be on exposing media toxicity. So we're gonna go in, and she's gonna media toxicity is what we're gonna that is. So she's gonna be. She used to work in Atlanta. She was a news reporter. She's an actor now, but she was a news reporter, good friend of mine. So she's gonna be on the show. We're talking about media toxicity. So here's another point, audience. We're gonna educate you. We're gonna help you have the truth behind the truth. It elaborates on what Mr. Tamika was talking about tonight as well. You know, in that. One other point I want to quick, Mr. Tamika, I don't know. We usually do it after the show, a little commentary after we just kind of like unfiltered. Do you have a few minutes to do an after show tonight with maybe 10 minutes, or do you have something to do?
Absolutely. Come on.
Okay. We'll hang on after we go off, and we'll get you the link set up. And guys, we're gonna be doing after the show, so we're gonna be unfiltered. So this is broadcast time now, but we're gonna our time when we come back. Okay? So we're gonna say some things you probably ain't gonna like. All right. When we get back. But anyways, as we get to a point, you know, in the wrap on this part of the show, drop some little nuggets, you know, on everybody to make it that you feel. Number one, tell them about how you can be reached and the best part of your services and things like that, and then give them a nugget or two on, you know, what they need to do to get this motion started for themselves.
Sure. So, you know, literally they can find me anywhere if they just type in Fun Coach Tamika.
Okay.
I'm everywhere, Fun Coach Tamika.
I like
literally.
that. Fun.
They can find me. So that's that. And yeah, like I'm actually I don't know if I told you guys this, but I'm writing my next book. And it's literally going to expose a lot of what the, you know, society is doing to try to dumb people down, to try to make them not see who they really are.
Wow.
And so I'm looking forward to that. That project is going to be amazing. But I am writing that right now.
Fantastic. That is so good. Well, guys, this has been, you know, as we knew that it was going to be a very, very rewarding show. Yeah. And if you missed any part of it, go back. Okay, go back and listen to the whole show over again, because there's some great nuggets that came out here tonight, you know, to help improve your life, to help you make the decision to get ready for this battle. I don't like to think about. Well, we'll talk about it on the next show what I like about spiritual warfare. I don't call it the same thing, but anyway, that's a whole nother. We'll talk about it on after the show. But I do want to thank you guys for tuning in tonight, and then really enrich your lives with what we share with you tonight, because it's very important. You're in a time and a season where you've got to make changes for yourself, for your family, for your friends, and everybody that's connected to you. Because if we don't do it together, we ain't gonna make it. Right. Okay, we got to get that part of our lives. If we don't do it together, we're not gonna make it. All right. Thank you so much for tuning into The Truth Behind the Truth tonight. Give us a minute and a half, 2 minutes. We will be back just live again. Okay, no big intros. We're gonna be live. We'll come right back up and we're gonna talk some shit. Thanks for tuning in tonight. We'll see you next time on The Truth Behind the Truth.
The Truth.
Good night, guys.
Good night, guys.